Career, a career is dying. He's getting murdered. He did. Let's talk about Drake and Kendrick. So, all right, all right. So I've been anyone who knows me knows I love hip hop. Like it's one of my favorite things. It's a genre I grew up with. It has so much meaning and foundation to me that I fanboy over this. It's one of my obsessions, my secret hobbies. I've been learning and learning and learning for decades now. And a lot of people, a lot of friends I've kind of traded memes with and a little discourse. And I figured, fuck it, I'm gonna do it like a blah, a blurb or whatever you want to call this, where I get to just kind of talk about it and just kind of pour out a little bit of knowledge. Maybe you'll learn something about this, maybe not. But I'm just gonna give like a summary of this shit as I see it, because this shit is wild and fun, and there is a point, and it's a little poignant as well. Um, so let's talk about it. Yeah. So it's all started when Drake released a song called Drake and J. Cole specifically released a song called First Person Shooter. Drake from Canada, rapper, formerly a Disney star, half Jewish, half black. There's a relevance here. Um, he and J. Cole are arguably two of the greatest MCs to exist currently. Um, Drake has so much clout, so much money, so much income, so much power in hip hop right now as one of the top, if not arguably one of the top performers and entertainers right now in hip hop and rap. J. Cole is arguably, to anyone who considers himself a hip hop head, arguably one of the greatest hip hop performers, lyricists, producers, even maybe not the greatest producer, but he's up there. He's another musician in the field of hip hop and ranked very very high up there. One of my favorites, in fact. And then we have Kendrick Lamar, Pulitzer Prize award winning Kendrick Lamar from Compton. Um, he is one of the greatest. He's literally got a Pulitzer, the first hip hop star to ever get a Pulitzer. He's recognized, everyone respects him, whatever. They make this song, two of them, Drake and J. Cole, come together and make a song. In the video you saw, Drake is the one getting stabbed, J. Cole's the one with the dreads. They make a song called First Person Shooter where they proclaim that they're the greatest. They're the best. They're part of the top, the big three. Aubrey, Kendrick, and me. Basically, the three of them they're celebrating that they're the greatest and how they're all doing their thing. It's good songs, like three songs combined into one. It's fun time. It's whatever. Shortly after, Kendrick, March 22nd, 2024, Kendrick drops a song called Like That. It's actually Future, produced by Metro Boomin, who did the Spider Verse, the second movie's soundtrack. That whole soundtrack he produced. Metro Boomin produced this song with Future and Kendrick Lamar called Like That. And it's a good song. It's a hard hitting song a little bit. And Future, he's another rapper out there. He's not the greatest by any means. I got thoughts, but we're not here to talk about him. Metro Boomin, he makes beats, he makes drums, he samples songs, he does production. Chill guy, he does great work. He's really really good at what he does. They put this song together when they're just talking about "Are You Like That?" Trying to proclaim about the realness and the groundedness of people operating their own lives. Drake, I'm sorry, not Drake. Future, he follows this in the typical drug selling thug type vibe. Typical Future, it's 1 in a million type shit. He always says. However, Kendrick took that premise of like that a different direction because Kendrick prides himself, and he prides himself a lot on being the greatest MC. And he comes in and starts talking about this other song, First Person Shooter, where they talk about the big three, the three greatest rappers currently. And he's like, fuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. and it calls them bums, and it's great. It's like, oh, he's throwing shots. He's starting a battle. All right, the competition's on. Everyone's like, oh shit, hip hop's about there's about to be a fight, and when there's a fight in hip hop, the artistry and creativity is elevated because people are giving their all on the principle of pride to show off their skills as artists. So hip hop is like, yo, let's go, let's do this. Moving forward, we see the first retort from J. Cole, 7 Minute Drill. J. Cole writes a verse or a song in 7 minutes, performs it as a replying diss track to everyone, saying that he was the greatest and he's squashing people with as bugs and all this other stuff. A pretty typical one. It was okay. I love J. Cole, not his best work. He comes out a few days later and apologizes to Kendrick Lamar for releasing the song, and he states that he felt pressured to put the song out there, and that's not the sort of energy he wants. He doesn't want to get into that sort of battle, conflicting sort of vibe, and that's typical of J. Cole. He's a very cerebral, grounded rapper. He tries to kill his ego. He tries to operate beyond your typical celebrity nonsense. One of the reasons I love this dude, but at the same time, he got challenged and it seemed like he bitched out. It's like here was your chance to kind of prove that you number one, and you stepping back. Hip hop community didn't like that as a whole. Pride, toxic masculinity, all that shit, it all came crashing in. And then J. Cole went quiet, pulled the song down, hasn't said shit. Drake, on the other hand, was like, oh, Kendrick want to come at me. He wants to come at us as number one. Bet. Drake releases on April 13th a song called Push Ups, where he comes back at Kendrick Lamar, basically saying that he's not the top three because other people have sold more songs and more music to him, and how he's short, and how he did songs with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. Trying to make fun of him and just trying to say, oh, you ain't shit, you're just, nothing. And it's very, very super, it's very top level. And then he also takes some shots at Rick Ross, who that's a whole side to this, that it's a whole nother part to this. That's just funny, but doesn't matter. He releases Push Ups, dropping Gimme 50, throws it at Kendrick. Very superficial song. I would give it, if this were 1 out of 100, I would grade it an 80. C plus, B minus work. He's done better. He's done worse. He has some good points, but whatever. My opinion, my take. Fast forward, Drake releases another one called Tailor Made Freestyle. Now this one's almost dope. Almost dope. And in some ways it's dope. In other ways it's the wackest shit ever. How is it dope? Tailor Made Freestyle. He got the producer who did one of Taylor Swift's one of Taylor Swift's songs. I forget the guy's name, Antov, I think, or something like that. He got one of Taylor Swift's producers to produce the song, thus making the song itself tailor-made, to which he starts making fun of Kendrick in the typical ways, remarking on same sort of shit. But what was weird about the song was he used a AI of Tupac and Snoop Dogg in this, to the point where Snoop Dogg was like, hey, yo, what the fuck? He responded on Twitter. It was not good. And it looked real weird. It was not a good look. Very, very low for that. But he also used Tupac, which is like, word? You go digitize Tupac into AI? Disrespectful. You don't do that. Like, Tupac is rap royalty, and just to pull someone from the grave with AI, like, yo, really? Ugh. It's not looking good. So the hip hop community rips him apart for this. Tupac's estate sends him a cease and desist on this shit. It's all bad. So that happened, and then the first strike really happened. The real big hit. Kendrick released a song April 30th called Euphoria. Euphoria is a show on HBO. Zendaya's on it. It's about teenagers and drugs and all this sort of shit, sex scandal, all that sort of stuff. One of the producers is Drake. So Kendrick has named the song after this drug show about Drake. not about Drake. He named the song after a drug show produced by Drake, and he starts going into other aspects of Euphoria. The clip art for Euphoria quite literally is a image of the definition of euphoria, a feeling of well-being, elation. Um, it goes on a little bit, but then he starts to rap about how Drake is just fake as fuck in every way. The fact that he got plastic surgery to get abs, the type of women he goes after and saying they don't have any self-respect, but he keeps it pretty tame. Just later on, we'll find out when he's not being tamed. It's like you have poor taste in women. Uh, you don't even raise your son. I'm raising my son, but you wouldn't know anything about that. Your rap abilities are not good. You're a scam artist because he doesn't write his own raps. Other people do. He's using AI. He makes fun of that, and he goes on and on and on. And so many punchlines. It's funny. Euphoria. Listen to it. It's like goddamn. But additionally, Kendrick's art and all of this, so many metaphors, so many metaphors, so many illusions, so many asides, so many change ups, entendres. He is putting quality into this craft easily. And I think that's super worthy of note, and it will be poignant later. Fast forward, everyone's reeling over this. It's like, oh shit, Kendrick is not fucking around. Okay. Um, yeah. And then Drake released I'm sorry. Yeah, Kendrick then released another song on May 3rd called 616 in LA. 16 in LA, that number 616, it's like a fucking quintuple entendre of so many things. It's Father's Day this year. It's it's the day that Tupac died. It's it's a he does some sort of math thing where it's like part of the devil's numbers. It goes on and on and on. I'm not even equipped to talk about all the entendres that Kendrick put into this thing, but just 616. Also, Drake has a habit of using timestamps in his titles. So the name of this song is Kendrick stealing Drake's style and doing it better. So with that, he's Kendrick is delivering a second song in 2 days, going at Drake. Kendrick is not fucking around, so he starts making fun of Drake's his label. Starts talking about how he's a terrible person. He's not raising his kid. All the same stuff as before, but elevated with more clever wordplay. And everyone is like, "Holy shit! He just released 2 diss tracks back to back. That's fucking quick." But he also tells him, "Hey, um, 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 you need to keep this shit in place. Otherwise, I'm gonna take it to the next level because I can do that. I'm holding back. Don't make me not hold back." Kendrick puts that out there. May 3rd, Drake, same, oh, is that the same day? Yeah, same day. Drake drops a song called Family Matters. Ooh. And in this song, Drake buys a van, this Dodge Caravan, on like a 90s Dodge minivan, buys it, gets it towed to a lot where they destroy vehicles. The name escapes me at the moment, and they crush it. They crush this car as he's doing this song, and the reason he did this is there's an album that Kendrick Lamar released, Good Kid, Mad City, probably one of the greatest rap albums ever made to this day. It's fucking phenomenal. But on the cover of it is a Dodge Caravan or whatever, the same sort of vehicle, and so it's Drake is crushing quite literally the meaning and value of one of Kendrick's most notable works. And it's a hell of a display, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then he starts releasing lines that are pretty good. This song is like, "Oh, he's taking hits at Kendrick and other people who've been coming out," and it's like, "Oh fuck, okay." And he alludes that Kendrick beats his wife and starts and talk about how him and his wife are cheating on each other, and how his kid may not even be his own kid. All of this like real deep and personal shit about family. And Kendrick was like, "Don't bring my family into this, otherwise I'm gonna tear your ass apart." An hour later, not even, Kendrick releases a song after Drake releases a song. Drake has released at this point 2 songs. Kendrick has released now three songs. And this song is called Meet the Grams. Drake's real name is Aubrey Graham. And Kendrick, Kendrick writes a letter to Drake's son apologizing for his son being his father. He then starts to tell his son how his father ain't shit. His father has drug problems, chasing women, treats women like shit. He might be a misogynist. He probably is a misogynist. His own crew doesn't trust him. He's 37, but he acts like a 7-year-old. How he doesn't. How Drake has a secret daughter, which people started pulling apart Twitter and like, what the fuck? What kind of investigative rapping this is this shit? Kendrick's putting shit out there, and it's like, oh, there's a receipt, there's a receipt, there's a receipt. Fuck. Calls out Drake for using Ozempic and tells his son, hey, try getting some discipline, do some push-ups, unlike your dad who cuts corners and all this other shit. It just tears into him as being this a vapid, terrible person, shitty artist, etc. And he goes, yeah, he's a great entertainer, he's a superstar, but he's a terrible father. And then he writes a letter in the same song. He writes a letter to his daughter, the daughter that's hidden, that Drake doesn't really talk about, just keeps away, probably with baby mama or whatever. And just writes another sad letter to her and how she should be better and not like the women that Drake goes after. That's fucked up. And while everyone who's watching this battle ensue, we're all just like, holy fuck, Kendrick, god damn. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna go to sleep. I guess we're gonna go about our day, because this song drops out. It drops. It's just like, god damn, fuck. He doesn't stop. Later on, May 4th, same day, Kendrick releases a song called "Not Like Us," where the album art for this shit. Let me see if I could put this up here, because this is one of the wildest, fucking most bold and great things I've seen. So yeah, he puts out this album art of this is just the thumbnail. You can check it out. Not Like Us, of this building, of this Google Map image here of Drake's house, and each one of those little red dots is an offender thing. It's for sexual offenders and what have you. Is posing that Drake houses a bunch of sexual assaulters, sexual deviants, sexual whatever you want to call it, a bunch of pedophiles, a bunch of motherfuckers doing shit they shouldn't be doing. He houses them under his label in his house. That's just the cover art. And then he starts to really go in talking about that. He calls him, Drake has an album called, Drake calls himself the Certified Lover Boy. Kendrick goes, Certified Lover Boy, more like certified pedophile. Drake, say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better never go back to cell block 1. Trying to strike a chord. It's probably a minor. He has these lines. It's like, oh, what the fuck? He really, I mean, yo, do that shit. Like, he put him on blast, and so many ways. There's so many ways he tears him apart, and it's just like, god damn, Kendrick, fuck. He's releasing them before Drake can even really settle with the songs he's released, as if Kendrick is either super fucking fast or he's been sitting on this shit and had this shit ready in the chamber to go. Doesn't matter. It's just a fucking good show of do not fuck with Kendrick Lamar if you are not ready. So now everyone's looking back at J. Cole, who was like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving this battle. I'm not even about this. Everyone's looking back and going, J. Cole was probably the smartest motherfucker in the room. He just stepped out of this shit and he's living his best life. He protected his energy. He's lived a good life. He's chilling. However, Drake is getting stabbed. He's getting murdered, as we saw. So why the fuck does any of this matter? It's just a bunch of rich celebrities and egotists doing what the fuck they normally do, right? Sure. But this is about culture. And there's some aspects to this that I think are very, very poignant to these times. We can look around in America these days, and we're going to keep it in America. there's this whole aspect of fake it till you make it, looking, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to look the part before you actually play that part. Motherfuckers fronting and stunting. People try to act like they're more than they are. They're getting surgeries to be higher than they really are. They're taking medicines to be thinner and seem more healthy than they actually are, to be more attractive, while also being vapid shells of humans. We see the shell, the facade sort of culture permeate everything. Hell, Instagram, social media. Arguably, this video right now, motherfuckers are putting on shows in some certain ways, and while they themselves are not necessarily up to snuff or truly about that moment in their life. They're not being genuine. There's a lot of disingenuous social activity happening, and we can see that kind of represented in Drake. Pretty boy superstar, easy, but his music, when you listen to it, doesn't have any real substance to it. Doesn't make you want to go, hey, let me be a better person. Let me do greater things. Let me learn how to love more. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me have something to think about to carry with me. Drake doesn't produce that. He gives you kind of the fluff songs that we're kind of used to at these times. Kendrick Lamar, Pulitzer Prize award winning Kendrick Lamar, has released several albums with themes about poverty, about his position in his own life, his own flaws, the concept of mental health and depression, alcoholism, seeming like a fake activist in the activist world, dealing with the concept of his people, thinking about being a fucking nigga from Compton and what it means to be, and about that life and living, in that street life and shit. And there's so much more. And then on top of that, he's trying to be a fucking artist, making money and living his life and doing all this other shit. We see a concept of, the best way I could put it is that reality bullshit life that we have in America these days. The Kardashian vibe, the look at my fancy ass Tesla, but don't look at my bank account because it ain't there type vibe. Look at me, I look dope, but am I a good person? That whole aspect of how we are living versus a motherfucker who's a lot closer to being real, a lot closer to being a normal fucking human with flaws, with notions of principle before chasing clout or money, with the concept or the display of being not fun party dope all the time, but being like, yo, I'm a real fucking person with real fucking thoughts and real shit going on. And seeing these two rappers kind of represent those two entities is like watching two aspects of society collide. And the one side you want, at least for me, the one side you want to see win is the one that has substance behind it. And that's where Kendrick is. That's why I'm enjoying this, because Kendrick has way more substance as a person, as an artist, as a rapper, as a human than Drake has ever. On top of that, Drake has been doing some real fucky shit over the years. And we all know about him texting Millie Bobby Brown, 11 from Stranger Things, if you can't remember. He was a teenager, he was 30 fucking 4, they texted. What was said, no one knows, but everyone was kind of like, that's weird. That's weird. Don't look good. However, that's just one moment. Years ago, in the earlier part of his career, he was on stage making out with this young lady. And after making out with her, he asked her, hey, how old are you? She said she's 17. He's well into his 20s at this point, and he remarks, oh, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but you look so good. I love the way your breasts feel against my chest when I hug you. And he kisses her on the cheek and forehead before letting her off the stage. Word? All right. Well, that happened. Somehow nothing came of it. It's a video. You can find it. It is what it is. We see that aspect of him. We see a pedophilic sort of vibe. And there are other motions too. I'm not equipped to speak on them. You can look it up. You can find it. It's out there. People are asking questions. Check out Black Twitter. Motherfuckers already doing that research. You can go find a Columbo-like detective. They'll let you know. But the point is, there's definitely a pattern over the years of his career of him being a fucking creep. And a playboy superstar who disregards his own fucking life. But he still likes to act like he's on top of the world. Meanwhile, we also see the aspects of Drake doing a lot of weird shit. There, in one part of the song, in one of the songs, there's an allusion to Drake sleeping with Lil Wayne or trying to get with Lil Wayne's woman when Lil Wayne was in jail for a little bit, which is like, yo, you and Lil Wayne was supposed to be like y'all colleagues and shit, but you fucking this girl while he's gone. That's dirty. That shit repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Many artists have remarked on this. Also, Drake has had beefs with other artists who are way more skilled, if not as popular as him. Pusha T, another rapper from way back, him and Drake had a beef where Pusha T was like, hey, you got a kid you hiding. And then Drake shut the fuck up, and suddenly Drake goes, hey, everyone, look at my son, Adonis. I love him now. Look at him. Look at him. Please like me again. And it's like, ooh, ooh. We're seeing a repeat of that. And with Kendrick, with his platform, we see him saying a few things that I think are worth note. He told Drake, you can't say nigga no more, which is like, oh, what for the white people out there, what's the context of that shit? But one motherfucker to say you can't say nigga no more is pulling the black card. It's saying, yo, you are not a part of this culture. And it's like, wait, Drake is black, right? Yes, Drake is black. He's half Jewish, half black. However, that is his genetic outcome. That's who he is in a DNA sense. Culturally, that motherfucker is a Canadian. And it's like, oh wait, what do you mean? There's Canadian black people? Well, yeah, sure, but he is not representative of the typical black paradigm, which is like going through the world with the issues that the world gives you for being, you know, the tones that we are, for not being, you know, the Eurocentric tones, not being white. However, he didn't have that aspect as hard or as deep. And he had more of the typical Hollywood type lifestyle. Famous, rich, his mom, his family were together, didn't really have to struggle. He had a good life, you know, easily. And good for him. Fucking good for him. I mean, that doesn't take away the fact that he's still black. But what does hit weird here is seeing Drake's progression over the years as he gets quote unquote closer to the black identity. He doesn't take it on so much as his birthright as he takes it on as a role, an appropriation, a caricature even. We can see him now, like quite literally, he's, as we speak, I think, he's trying to do a video with Sexy Red, where he's wearing a Memphis fucking jersey with braids in his hair, trying to look the most niggerish that he could ever look. Like, it's like he trying to act like he from the hood. Like, I'm from 39 for Lake Park. I'm from 39 for Cottage Grove, essentially. I'm from the hood. I grew up in the projects. And that life, I know it. I've been in it. I've seen it. My family, it's in my blood. It's in my culture. Drake didn't live that. And yet he is trying to pass as if he did. And one of the things that Kendrick challenges him in with the songs is, are you black enough? Because you had all these other Atlanta stars to kind of, or black stars from the South to kind of validate you versus your own art validating you, your own experience validating you. And we can see that in Drake just kind of taking that on and be like, hey, now I'm black because it's what's hot, it's what's good, it's what people, it's what sells. And it's like, ooh, you're not black, you're selling black, you're characterizing it. And now Kendrick is seeing that, calling that, and saying, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more because you don't even know the fucking value or meaning or context behind that word. And it's something that it's hard to break down and explain to people unless you are black, but that's for another time. Kendrick sees it. Generally, the community sees it. The motherfucker's trying to be something he's not. Drake is trying to be something he's not and getting called out on it. And it is the most entertaining thing in so many levels. Me, as a proud black man, as a dark man, obviously, and as someone who honestly, I ain't shit either. I'm just another motherfucker. But watching a light-skinned motherfucker get taken down the peg as a dark-skinned dude, there's something there. It's probably not good, but there's something there that kind of makes you kind of go, but I digress. That's a black thing many of you will not understand. But even that doesn't even matter. What does matter here is that we see someone who's in a position of such fame that many of their fallings have been glossed over, and now they're being fucking called out by someone who takes pride and principle in their artistry, whereas the person who uses it as a platform for their own fame and fortune, they're finally getting called out. And it's so nice to see. It's so nice to see when a titan who does not deserve to sit on that cloud gets knocked the fuck off of it. How often does that happen in reality? Not very often, but when it fucking does, whew, it's good. And also when they do it with fancy words, it's great. Now, a lot of people saying like, yo, this is immature, this is silly. Who gives a fuck? There's real problems. We got Gaza, Ukraine, inflation, pick some women's issue in the South, the police. Yes, quite literally fires and all the environmental shit too. The world's fucked up. We know shit's going down. We know things are constantly going. Why do we give a fuck about this? Because goddamn it, sometimes we need to find some joy in the bullshit. All right, so whatever. Is it immature for two dudes to be releasing songs, taking shots at each other? Is it immature? Fuck no. You know what's immature in this country? Picking up a fucking gun and going shooting up a school, or shooting a motherfucker because you don't like them, or saying, hey, you suck, I'm gonna shoot you. That would be immature. However, we're not seeing that. We're seeing a nonviolent verbal exchange between two dudes in a career path in a scale where they show not only their aptitudes and abilities, but their principles and self through verbal back and forths. Two black men in rap are not fighting. They're throwing words. It's a nonviolent affair. We're going, ho, ha, he. What more fucking civil of a situation could we ask for than a conversation with words and a hot ass beat? With that being said, I think we just watched Drake's career get killed. I think we just watched what excellence from Kendrick Lamar looks like. And I am looking forward to the next month and a half of hip hop to see what develops, because I feel like hip hop was on a lull and this shit just kind of brought it back up. Maybe we'll see growth. Maybe we'll see a return of skill and honest effort. And maybe we'll see a lot less bullshit, shallow production. And we'll start seeing real substance again. I don't know. In any case, that's generally what's going on. Also, the rest of the hip hop community, they've been having words to say at Drake too. Metro Boomin, the producer, released a song called BBL Drizzy, where he just makes a beat making fun of Drake. I didn't even know you could do this. BBL Drizzy, Metro Boomin, he made it. Listen to it. It's funny as fuck. It was actually a song in the very beginning that was playing in the background to that video. Rick Ross is saying shit, tossing shit. That's funny and hilarious. We got, like I said, we have the other artists popping up saying what they have to say and trying to elevate themselves and show their creativity. I hope that from this we see growth, and I hope we see growth in the good direction, and we can also see the culture change from one that embraces shallow bullshit and skirting real fucking issues in the vein of what's fun and pretty sounding and looking, and overproduced garbage. Maybe we'll see substance over, maybe we'll start seeing more steak over McDonald's, you know? Anyway, I just wanted to drop some words on that. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to listen. I'm probably gonna talk more about this. I might go to my bar and go get a drink and just talk more about this shit more in depth, because it's so thick. The songs have so many illusions, so much to them. There's a lot, and it's all fucking fun. Music, artistry, we need so much more of it. It teaches us how to vocalize and speak and operate in a civilized manner versus going unga chunga, I'm gonna hurt you. So embrace it and enjoy it. And yeah, thanks again.